Hey everybody, this is D Hunter, bringing another action figure review. Today, we're going to be looking at the McFarlane DC Multiverse, the Batman Who Laughs, and Robins of Earth -22. We get 3 of those Robins. This is the Batman Who Laughs and the Robin Crows. They're actually all from the same Dark Multiverse. This is a Walmart exclusive pack and the first time McFarlane has done a 4-pack in the Multiverse DC line. They've done plenty of 2-packs. Now this thing was only $40. It was a great value. And on top of that, these Robin Crows are really rare and sought after. Really hard to find, especially if you want to get all 3 of them. Way back in the day, they were part of the Build a Merciless figure wave. And I didn't think they would be so sought after. Sure, they're an army builder, but it's a very small figure. You get a lot less plastic than some of the other guys. In addition to that, putting an army builder into a $25 Build-A-Figure wave is a pretty poor decision. If you go on eBay and look for these guys, they're running from about $85 to $100 each, unopened. I imagine this pack here is going to bring their value on the secondary market down considerably. I pre-ordered mine from Walmart.com. Supposed to arrive about a month ago, delayed, and here it is. So let's take a look at the packaging. As you can see, DC Multiverse, the Batman Who Laughs, and Robins of Earth -22. We have 3 of the Robins and the Man Who Laughs. Looks like maybe he has a bloodier mouth. We will check that out later in the video. I don't see any differences with the Robin Crows, and I was really hoping there would be something. Blood around the mouth, different tinted skin. I mean something to differentiate them from the single release. Top, Dark Knight's metal. One side, the Batman Who Laughs and Robins of Earth -22. Same thing here. The bottom got a bunch of credits, and there is a barcode in case it helps anybody. Backside, you can see the Man Who Laughs with his Robins, and here a bunch of other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures you should check out. So no further ado, let's open it up. And you know me, army building is my specialty. I got 3 of these sets, 2 of which to open and enjoy, add to my Robin Crow army, and 1 of which to keep unopened in my complete 6 and 7 inch unopened Batman-related action figure collection. Here's this new 4-pack, next to both the Man Who Laughs for the Build Batmobile wave, and for the Build Merciless wave. And here's the new pack, next to all 3 of the Robin Crows in their single release. These guys were quite the pain in the ass to track down each. Alright. Now that we got these figures out of the package, here they are with all their accessories laid out. It looks like they come with 4 display stands, 2 collector's cards, 3 chains to be used as leashes for the Robin Crows, and then 2 little axes, hatchets, or scythes for the Batman Who Laughs. But before taking a look at the accessories, let's talk about and check out the actual figures. This is a very clever 4-pack. Not only does it make sense, the Batman Who Laughs, and 3 of his Robin Crows. But the Robin Crows are really hard to track down initially, so it's really going to be some fan service, allowing us to get the figures we couldn't get before. Now I've seen some people complain online, it's not fair they're doing this, I spent so much money getting these figures before, blah blah blah. Well, you know what? I did the same thing. Get over it. It's really nice for the new people to be able to jump in and get these figures. In this video, we'll take a look at each of the figures individually, the Batman Who Laughs and the Robin Crow. We'll check out their accessories, height, and articulation, and then we'll compare them with a bunch of other figures. So let's start off with the Batman Who Laughs. But before we do that, let's talk about their origins. So all 4 of these figures are from Earth -22. The Batman Who Laughs is actually Bruce Wayne under there. On Earth -22, you start off with Bruce Wayne, young boy, his parents were killed. He vowed to fight crime and never let that happen again. Sound familiar? He became Batman. At one point, he was fighting the Joker. The Joker of this universe was dying to the same Joker toxin that made him the man he is today. He had also taken a bunch of kids and forced Batman to watch as he killed their parents in front of them. He had paralyzed Batman, so he was sitting there unable to move, but was able to watch the whole thing. Joker infected all these kids, orphans, with his Joker toxin, turning them into the Robin Crows. And as Batman regained his mobility, he killed the Joker, but the Joker infected him as he died, turning the Batman into the Batman Who Laughs. So here's the Batman Who Laughs. He's got a display stand, collector's card, and his two little scythes. Before we take a look at those accessories, let's check out the actual figure. So this is essentially Batman and the Joker merged together. Very interesting villain. Gained a lot of popularity. He's hot stuff right now. So top, he's got that sort of torture type crown, and it simulates bat ears above that. Of course, he's got the red lips, nasty looking teeth, almost look like blood on his mouth. He's got the perma-white skin. Then he has this sort of leathery outfit. Looks like something from Hellraiser. Double jointed elbows, double jointed knees. This guy was first made available in the Wave 1 of McFarlane's DC Multiverse, the Build a Batmobile wave. Been a long time since the figure came out. Pretty nice figure, holds up well over time. And just a closer look at his head or face sculpt. You can never see this guy's eyes. It's always been sort of a mystery how he can actually see. Mouth looks pretty good. Teeth are kind of yellowed, kind of gross. Now let's take a look at his accessories, and let's start off the boring stuff. Here's his display stand, typically McFarlane stand, black perfect circle, says DC at the bottom. It's got one peg for the peg holes on his feet. It's very thin, very basic. Here's his collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of the figure of the Batman Who Laughs. The Batman Who Laughs from the Dark Knight's Metal. On the back, there is a little description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. Here's this new The Batman Who Laughs collector's card, next to the original releases collector's card. I did prefer where they'd showed the source material versus the actual figure. And then, next to the Batman Who Laughs Sky Tyrant collector's card. Then he's got these little mini scythe type things, some bladed weapons. Nice detail on the handle, wooden handle, some black wrap around it. The actual blade, a little bit worn. And the other one here, similar, a little bit of wearing on the blade there, and the handle. Here's the Batman Who Laughs, holding his blades. If shot right, this guy can look quite creepy. And I was curious if there were any differences between the Batman Who Laughs release and this new one from the 4-pack. And it does not look like there are any differences. 100% straight re-release. Even their faces are the same. Maybe one could argue there's a little more red around the lips here, but I think that's just the specific factory paint job. Straight re-release. Now in the previous shot, it was the new Batman Who Laughs in the 4-pack next to the original single release. Don't forget, I bought 3 of these Robin Crow sets. 1 to keep unopened and 2 to open. These 2 Batman Who Laughs in front of you are both from the new 4-packs. That leaves me with essentially 3 of the exact same figure, which is kind of annoying because I sure don't need that. Now for sure, one of these guys is going to get head swapped with the Sky Tyrant head. He had a screaming head. At least that'll differentiate these guys a little bit. But I'll still leave me with 2 of the exact same figure. Here's the standard, the Batman Who Laughs, next to the Batman Who Laughs with the Sky Tyrant wings. Notice they have different heads. I'm going to go ahead and do a head swap with one of these 2 new Batman Who Laughs. That way there's at least something different between them. Head swap a success. Now I've got one Batman Who Laughs with a regular head and one with a screaming head. Here's a full shot of my 2 new The Batman Who Laughs. At least they're both different. But I still have my original release. In front of you is the original release on the far left, and then the 2 new ones on the right. The first 2 here are pretty much exactly the same. I'm going to have to find something to do with one of them to make them a little different. So I now have 4 of the Batman Who Laughs figures, 3 of which are different. The first 2 are the same. Now that we've taken a pretty good look at both the figure and his accessories, now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing at about 7.0 inches tall, which can translate to about 18 centimeters, and if you go to the top of the crown, about 7.25 inches tall. Now let's check out his articulation. Let's start with his head here. Of course, it can rotate from side to side. like up and down about that far, pretty nice. Can tilt his head from one side to the other, give him a good amount of personality. He does have articulation at the bottom of the head, top of the neck, as well as the bottom of the neck, 2 different points. Shoulders on a ball joint, goes out a little bit more than 90 degrees, up, down, around, all that good stuff. He's got a butterfly joint between his shoulder and chest, increase the range of motion. Bicep cut, double jointed elbows. His wrist here has a ball in it, he can rotate, and it's going to be hinged as well. His torso here, he's got kind of a ball joint type thing down here. He's got another point of articulation here, although you're not going to get as much use out of this. Rotate forward and back, and like I said, it has articulation here, but this sort of soft goods thing is going to prohibit you from getting much out of it. Legs only goes out about this far, not a ball joint, but a similar type idea. Rotation is almost non-existent. Legs go forward about that far, back just a little bit. Double jointed knees below that. Then his ankle here goes forward and back, can rotate, can tilt, rock, and he has toe articulation. Now let's look at the Robin Crows. This is Robin from Earth -22. Really not exactly Robin, but a bunch of orphan boys that Joker infected, becoming the Batman Who Laughs Robin Crows. Now you wonder why they're called Robin Crow. Now, in the comic, they're the sort of henchmen of the Batman Who Laughs, sort of zombie-ish looking Robins. And of course, how did Jason Todd, the Robin, die? To a crowbar. So whenever the Batman Who Laughs wants to recall them, it says crow, bar, bringing them back. Hence Robin Crows. They each come with a chain type leash. There's a collector's card, one for all 3 of them. And then there are 3 different stands. Let's take a look at the figure. So the face, sick and twisted, pale white skin infected by Joker. Hair kind of going upward, a little bit of green and black mixed in there. Pointy elf ears. Then he's in the old school sort of Dick Grayson Robin costume. I do like that. It's got the little buckles up and down, utility belt, even his little shorts here. Almost looks like little scales. Texturing very well done. Legs, all sort of bumpy. Nice attention to detail. The elf shoes, single jointed knees, single jointed elbows, short cape here. Overall looks pretty nice. Now let's take a closer look at their faces or head sculpts. There are 3 different versions. This is the smiling version. This one has his mouth semi-open, sort of a twisted grin. And then this final one, he's got the screaming head. And here are all 3 of their heads together. Now let's take a look at their accessories. We've already taken a look at the display stand with the Batman Who Laughs. Now let's look at their collector's card. As you can see, it's an image of all 3 of the Robin Crow figures together. All 3 of the different heads. Robins of Earth -22 from the Dark Knight's Metal. On the back, there is a description. If you want to read that, go ahead and pause now. And here is the new Robin Crow 4-pack collector's card on the left, next to the old single release on the right. Now let's look at their chain or leash. Nothing too spectacular here. It's just a simple link chain. In order to attach their chain, they have this little hook on their neck, made of a very soft material. You can easily sort of just pull it back, slip a chain in there. Very well done. And I have a bunch of these Robin Crows from way back when. Never had any issue with that thing breaking. Executed very nicely by McFarlane. Here are the Robin Crows without their chains. And here, with their chains attached, they function as leashes for the Batman Who Laughs to hold them. Here's the Batman Who Laughs, holding the Robin Crow by his chain. He can easily hold 1 of them. He can also hold 3 of them. And hell, he can even hold 10 of them. That is not an easy thing to accomplish, though. Now let's not forget that I got 2 of these packs to open. That's a total of 6 more Robin Crows to add to my Dark Knight's Metal army. Now, when the Robin Crow was first introduced, when the Batman Who Laughs appeared, he had 3 of them with him. But there are more than 3 of them. Later in some of the comics, there are many of them in the city. It's even rumored that the Billy Batson of Earth -22 is one of these guys. Now, I do have a total of 16 of these Robin Crows. I got 10 about a year and a half ago when they were single releases. Now, do I need 16 of these guys? Oh, hell no, I don't. I don't even need 10 of them. My original plan was to get 6 of these guys, and then things just sort of spiraled out of control. Army building is one of my specialties, and I couldn't pass up the opportunity to have an army of zombie Robins. Here's the Batman Who Laughs, leading his flock of Robin Crows. I've got a total of 6 of the Smiling Heads, 5 of the Twisted Heads, and 5 of the Screaming Heads. Way back when these first released, I got 10 of them. I got a pretty strange mix of heads. I think 2 of one, like 7 of another, and 1 of another. Ended up messaging some other people from the Fwoosh. We heated them up, did some head swaps, so we all had all 3 different heads, and a fair spread of them. Now let's check out his height. From bottom to the top of his head, standing at about 6.2 inches tall, which can translate to about 15.5 centimeters. I will say, they're probably just a little bit taller than they should be, but if they were any smaller, it just feels like you're getting ripped off. They could have made 2 of them in the original single pack if you ask me. Now let's check out his articulation. Starting with his head here, of course, it can rotate from side to side. It can look up and down about that much. Can tilt his head a little bit from side to side. Shoulders on a ball joint, up, down, around, all that good stuff. It doesn't have a butterfly joint like most of the McFarlane figures. Bicep cut, single jointed elbow, but it goes in more than 90 degrees. His wrist, of course, you're going to rotate, and it is hinged, although you really can't get much out of that because of his glove here. Now, his torso, it's got the soft goods overlay, and there is articulation underneath, but it's kind of hard to get all of it to work. Sure, you can rotate him around at the waist. He can bend down. He can kind of bend back a bit. This is one of the rare ones where it actually works pretty nicely. You can actually use the articulation and it'll stick. A lot of the other McFarlane figures with the soft good stuff, you can't even get it to stay like so. They'll just simply pop back into place. So not too bad there. His legs go about this far. Got the soft good shorts here. A lot of give to them. Forward, about that much. Back, not too much. A little bit of rotation, pretty much non-existent. Single jointed knees, a little bit more than 90-degree bend. And his ankle here, of course, you're going to rotate, go forward and back. Can't really get much tilt and rock out of it. And there's 2 articulation. Here's the Batman Who Laughs, holding a bunch of Robin Crows above the streets of Gotham. Here's the Grim Knight, sticking some of his Robin Crows to get Commissioner Gordon. And here are some of the Robin Crows next to the DC Direct, DC Essentials, Deceased Batman, the Zombie Batman with some Zombie Robins, the Zombie Batman and the Zombie Robins eating a bunch of cops. Here's Batman and Robin taking on a whole bunch of the Robin Crows on a rooftop in Gotham. The fight lasts so long, Batman ends up snapping one of their necks, and it turns out they're already dead. The Robin Crow just keeps coming. After Batman and Robin escape, they meet up with the rest of the Bat family for some backup, and they find out they're too late. The Robin Crows are already feasting on their flesh. And the Robin Crows have even made it into the Batcave. Here they are, getting their final blows on Batman. And here's the entire Dark Knight's Metal team, led by the Batman Who Laughs. And then, the Robin King controlling a bunch of Robin Crows. Now let's check them out, next to some other action figures. Starting off with some other McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here are all the McFarlane Joker figures, next to the Batman Who Laughs. Here's the Batman Who Laughs, next to several different Batman figures. These are all based off their comic appearances. Then, next to some more Batman figures, these are from different various forms of media. Here are all the different Dark Knight's metal figures. Most of these are evil versions of Batman. Here are the Robin Crows, next to a Damian Wayne Robin figure. And then, next to the Robin King. Now let's check them out, next to some other recently released McFarlane DC Multiverse figures. Here they are, next to a couple of Lex Luthor figures. Then, next to Lobo and Superboy Prime. And here they are, next to the Birds of Prey Harley Quinn and the Mortal Kombat 11 Joker. And now, next to Batman in the hazmat suit and the Dark Knight Returns Armored Batman Blue Edition. And here, next to the Year 2 Batman. Then, next to a couple of McFarlane Swamp Thing Mega figures. And here they are, next to the recently released 3 Jokers wave. Still trying to track down Batman from this group. Then, next to both Red Hood and Nightwing from Gotham Knights. Here's the Batman Who Laughs, next to Hellraiser. I can see the Batman Who Laughs fitting right in with the rest of the Cenobites. Now let's check them out, next to some action figures from different various companies, to see how they fit in both scale and style-wise, in case you want to know which lines you can mix them with. Since they're McFarlane figures, they're typically the 7-inch scale. I'm going to start off my comparisons with some of the larger action figure lines I collect, and work my way smaller. Here they are, next to some of the McFarlane Toys brothers. In front of you are 5 different action figure lines, all from McFarlane Toys, all 7-inch scale. Then, next to some more McFarlane figures. These are from different various video game properties. And now, next to some Jack-specific wrestling figures. And here they are, next to some DST or Diamond Select toys. Then, next to some DC Direct and DC Collectibles figures. And here, with some NECA figures. Then, next to some Mattel wrestling figures. And now, next to some Jazzwares AEW wrestling figures. And here they are, next to some Mezco 112 collective figures. Then, next to some Mattel DC Universe Classics and Multiverse figures. And here, next to some Mafex figures. Then, next to some Hasbro Marvel Legends. And here they are, next to some SH Figure Arts action figures. And finally, next to some Jazzwares Fortnite figures. Overall, this is a very nice action figure set. It looks great in the box. These figures have really nice sculpt and detail. Paint job's also very crisp. Articulation is pretty good. A little weird on the Robin Crows, but I understand they're smaller figures and they're trying to hide some of the articulation. They could use some double jointed knees and elbows. A Robin Crow should be a little more super articulated, able to climb on walls and all kind of crazy stuff. Their accessories are pretty cool. Some blades with Man Who Laughs, the chain for the Robins. Army building is my specialty, so I really enjoy figures like this. If I were to rate these figures, I'd probably give them a 7 out of 10. I would be a little bit more excited for them if they weren't 100% identical re-releases. McFarlane, just give me something a tiny bit different in these multi-packs, please. So this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video. If you liked the video, press like below. If you have anything to say about the video, add to the comment section. If you want to see additional action figure reviews from me, press subscribe. I do appreciate when you do that. Once again, this is D Hunter. Thank you guys for watching this video, and I will talk to you guys real soon.